like my body never felt the best when training for that. And I didn't really cross train either. Like I didn't really weight lift or anything. I would just run. And yeah, my body never like felt very good
Yeah, me
during
neither.
those times.
Hi everyone. This is a fun like catch up episode. Catch
Yes.
catch up. How do you say catch up? Not the red stuff, like catching up.
Catch up.
It sounds like
Catch
catch
up.
up.
It does. Or like some people say catch up or cats up.
Cats up.
Have you heard that?
I guess, yeah, but like that's crazy. What are we talking about?
So not catch up,
We are
catch up.
catching up and recording it because it's gonna
Yes.
be about all the things that we have been trying for our wellness routines. And we
Yes.
wanted to give you guys the update because I know that even though it sounds strange that I know that you guys care, you guys often do. Like the content that I get most engagement in on, I don't know if you noticed this on BabyFit, but on the Vertigo Doctor, the content that people care truly the most about is like pictures of my wedding last year. It's literally
As
like
they should.
nothing gets more,
I mean, that's the most
nothing.
fun stuff. Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
but
Well,
nothing gets more engagement than that, truly.
good thing we have a dog play session going on
Oh my
in the
God, yeah,
back.
I also have a
Perfect.
dog's happening in the back.
Oh man. Next time we get
Oh,
we're gonna have to get them all together
oh
because
my God, I know all
they're gonna
four.
have way too much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Uh,
Okay, so what thing do you want to talk about first?
Well, I really want to hear about your guys' anniversary gift that you got. And I think you've
Okay.
dropped what it is, right? Like it's not a
I've
surprise
dropped
anymore.
some hints. It's no longer a surprise.
Okay.
We got a cold plunge. So D, we call him D. No one knows his name or who he is, which is very funny because the reason he doesn't want to be known on the internet is not because he's not findable on the internet or like doesn't have social media. It's
He's like
because
a high profile person.
truly, but he actually doesn't want anyone to know who he is because his favorite podcast that he listens to, the wife of one of the hosts, is like no one knows who she is. It's not Joe Rogan's wife, who also no one knows who she is. Well, people know, but like don't really know. There's not pictures of her on the internet anywhere, but not her, a different podcast that he listens to. Um, he wants to be like her,
I
not
love
like
it.
her, but like wants that to be his vibe. I'm like, that's hilarious. Anyway, so
Mystery
we call
man.
him D, the mystery man. He and
I respect it.
I, our wedding anniversary, was on October 14th, which is actually today when we're recording this. So happy
Yay. Oh
anniversary
my
to
gosh, I
me.
have that in my calendar and I like meant to say happy anniversary. So happy
That's totally
anniversary,
fine. Happy belated
Maddie and
anniversary to
Dee.
you. Rachel and
Yay.
I got married like I don't know, 2 weeks apart, but
Oh,
I didn't
close.
get to go to your wedding because I
I
am dumb.
know.
And
No,
so
you're
I think
not.
about it every day. Do you know that? Literally, I think
Oh,
about it every day. How
it would have
sad
been
am
really
I?
fun, but that's
Would have
okay.
been. It's
We
fine.
understand. We came to your wedding.
I know it's
So,
because you're the
so
best.
beautiful. It was so
Yours was
beautiful.
also beautiful.
Mhm.
Anyways, not the point. For our anniversary, we got each other a cold plunge. So D, like a couple weeks before, probably in September sometime, was like, do you want to do like an experience? Do you want to surprise each other with gifts? Do you want to do like the 1 year anniversary? What is it, like paper or something? Or do you want to like go in on a gift together? And I was like, go in on a gift together. And do you want to? And at the same time, I said sauna and he said cold plunge. But we already own a
Amazing.
sauna technically.
Oh,
So we
that's
agreed
right.
on
Because you
cold
guys,
plunge because
yeah.
our sauna, we have like a it's kind of from Sun Home Sauna, I think, or Sunlighten. No, Sun Home. It's
Okay.
just a sleeping bag, basically,
Like
with
your head
infrared
doesn't
light.
go in?
Your head does not go in. It's from neck down. There's like a little divot for your chin. Like it's
Okay.
like set up for this. And you put yourself in there. And we have a rule in our house that whoever is in the bag, the bagger, you you get all the rules in the house. So if you want water, the other person has to stand up and get it for you. If you want to turn the channel on the TV, the other person has to do it.
If you want your dog to stop licking your
Licking your
face,
face, that you have to remove the dog. Yeah,
fair enough.
exactly. Which
I
I think
love
is
that.
hilarious. My mom thinks that's so funny, but I like it's very reasonable because when you're in there, you can't get out,
Yeah.
and it's equitable. Like we both do it anyway.
Yeah.
So lately, since we got tugboat, we have been saunaing less because he's such a menace when we lay on the floor.
hmm
Hugo, of course, is perfect, but anyway, so we
Of
agreed on
course,
cold
he's a perfect
plunge.
boy.
He's literally the most perfect dog. And we
Yeah,
just
he's
got
good.
him like that. Like we barely had to train him. He's just perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the cold plunge we got, I will get you guys a brand name. I have no association or affiliation with this company whatsoever, but I do love them. I have to find the one we got. Why? Oh, Vital Plus is what we got. Um, a plunge from Cold Plunge, I learned is literally $8,000. Are you aware of this?
Yes, I
They
I am. I
they're
am.
so expensive.
Yeah.
And I am into manifestation, so is Rachel. If you're not, you can manifest anything, truly. Was not a believer. My sister's been telling me to do this for years.
Oh, she has.
Yeah, my sister's been manifesting for years, and her best friend, she can say on a Tuesday, I want this, and by next Wednesday, she will have it. She's like the most incredible manifester I've ever met in my entire life. She's amazing. My sister's right there up there with her. But I was not gonna wait to manifest uh this on because the plunge makes them um like a refurbished version. They're still
Okay.
expensive.
Yeah.
But not expensive as like the whole one or whatever. So I was gonna wait and do that, but then I was like, ugh, I just want to buy it now. So I bought it now, which shows abundance mentality, which is a good thing. So anyway,
Absolutely.
absolutely it does. That's
Absolutely.
what I'm telling myself. And I found a discount code for it online. We got the big pod. So
Yeah.
Vital Plus has two ones.
Hmm.
They have like the Ice Bath Pro and then the barrel. And for whatever reason, I was afraid that the barrel was going to overflow, and we're keeping it inside because, in Wyoming it gets too cold to put anything outside. So, we got the Ice Bath Pro. It's great. I will say, um, however I set it up, I really messed up the first time and I leaked in our garage. But the humidity here is so low that it will not mold. Thank God. I've been checking the
It'll be
spot
fine.
every day and
Yeah.
it's not molding. Slash the humidity in our garage is like 18%, so it literally can't mold. Um, so that's a good thing. But I then plugged the hole. But when I plugged the hole, it's not a hole, it's like supposed to be a drain. When I plugged the drain, I put like plumber's tape on it and did it right, but it's still leaking a tiny bit. But I emailed them and they're like, that's so weird. We'll send you all the replacement parts. And so
Interesting.
their customer service is excellent.
Cool.
I did buy it with the chiller. We have it to about 51-ish degrees. I can sit in there for probably 5 minutes. I start to get bored,
Yeah. It's a long
but
time to
it is
sit
a
in there.
long time to just sit and be freezing. But I'm really good at it. I think I'm better at it than I am at saunaing.
The sauna.
The sauna for me, I don't like to be super, super hot. And
Hmm.
I'm really cold sensitive. I have Raynaud's, if you guys don't know. And I also have Hashimoto's, which also makes my circulation horrible, which is probably why I have Raynaud's. But anyway,
Hmm.
so I keep my hands and my feet out. I like kind of hold
Yes.
myself up on the sides.
Yes.
I put them in when I'm like getting in and out, but then I pop them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. It's been great. I've gone 5 of the last 7 days.
Love that.
I didn't go this weekend because the vestibular virtual summit was chaotic, but that's over. It went so well.
Yay.
Anyways, that's my cold plunge. I do think it's gonna help with my heart rate variability, which I'm trying to get up more. Um, my HRV really varies between like 50 some weeks and like 120 other weeks, which is crazy. That's like a lot of variability, which is not great. I'm trying to get it up consistently, and I'm hoping that this will
Hmm.
help.
Okay, a few comments. I
Hmm.
want one of these.
You definitely should get one.
I feel like I also need a sauna though, because I
Hmm.
need to warm up immediately afterwards.
No, the point is you're supposed to, you're so,
Well, you can do cycles, right?
that's true, that's true, but you're supposed
I
to
always
let
like to,
your
I
body
know.
come back up naturally, which is horrible and so
That's
difficult.
the hard part. I do
It's
feel
rough.
like the one, not the one that you got, the one that you got, you can keep your feet and hands out, but I wonder if like the more circular one would be,
Hmm.
you wouldn't be able to keep your feet out,
I don't
right?
think so. I think it's too small.
You'd have to
Yeah.
like bend in half.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay,
You have to bend it up.
cool. Any immediate things that you've noticed like upon getting out or like
I feel
day of?
amazing when I get
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do this in the river, which is free.
Yeah.
But the river used to be on my commute home, and I would not do it in the winter because getting out when it's 10 degrees outside seems even worse than
Hmm.
anything. Plus, I think it's too cold in the winter to go in the river. Anyway,
Cool.
Cold plunge ideally is supposed to be between 50 and 60 degrees. I know people go as low as 38, but there actually are clinically no benefits below, I think, 50 degrees
Hmm.
from what I can read. And so I've been keeping it around 51, so it's on the colder side. But anyway, I used to go in the river all the time. I don't remember what I was telling you this for. Oh, and I noticed that I would always feel really clear on my way home. I do think that I want to start doing it in the morning rather than the middle of the day. I find when I
Hmm.
do it before bed, I don't sleep very well.
Oh, really?
So, because you're supposed to cool your body down. And if you're cooling yourself down already, then your body is heating back up. But you're supposed
Mm,
to cool your body down a little bit by like 2 degrees while you're sleeping. And then your
right.
body warms itself back up when you wake up. And so you're supposed to
Hmm.
sauna before bed if you do anything or take like a
Okay.
warm bath. And
Yes,
then,
that is helpful. Yeah.
yeah,
And then you
because
naturally
then
cool
you,
down.
yeah, because then your body cools down when you get out. And so that's good for sleep. So I
Yes.
want to start doing it in the morning, but it's so cold in my garage that I cannot mentally get myself to do it, which I know is a mental block. So I'm getting my garage insulated.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. And
That'll
I
help a
talked to the
lot.
guy, and it's going to be way cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Like, honestly, really cheap. So,
Cool.
yeah,
And then you
that's
should get
my next
heated
plan.
floors and
Yeah.
then you'll
When
be
I
set.
build a new house, I'll get new floors.
We have done, so we live by a reservoir here in Fort Collins,
Hmm.
and we have gone in there in the winter time for like a cold plunge. And so Maddie and I were talking about this last week. I think I sent a picture of as evidence, but so Maddie and I both like to keep our feet out and our hands out. Same reason. Like it just freaks me out. I have like my number one fear is getting my toes amputated because they're too cold. Like it is a serious thing. So when that's one reason I don't love going into Horsetooth is because I can't keep my feet out. It's very awkward. But we are just talking about so Maddie's husband D and mine Joe both can only like get down to like their waist level, like literally like right here. And they'll just sit like this. At least Joe will. And he just and he just like is clenched the whole time.
That's defeats the point.
I'm like, that's
So I will
exhausting.
say the first couple of days of having it, because we do have it in our garage and you can be so consistent, D could only get it up to his chest, but now he's all the way in up to his neck for 90 seconds. So
Amazing.
huge improvements in a week, and I'm really proud of him.
So our support group helped.
Support group is helping. It's our cold plunge cold,
I love it.
the four of us.
Amazing.
Oh my
Cool.
gosh.
Okay. Well, I love that.
I feel like we
That's
got really lucky that our husbands get along so well.
yeah.
Like love each
Yeah.
other.
Yes. Yes. Like the first time we came there, it
Yeah.
was
They're
so
like,
fun.
oh, we're best friends now.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
Hilarious.
about all of this stuff and yeah, be on the same
Correct.
page with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Cool.
Anyway,
Okay.
that's
Well, I
my
love that.
cold plunge update. Um,
Sauna TBD.
TBD indeed. I mean, they're so big.
Hmm.
Like, they're not gonna fit in our garage.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have stuff in our garage. It's like a 1.5 car garage lengthwise. It's wide. It's barely fits a car. We don't park any car in there. We have like parking in front of our, not in, we have street parking, but like in the driveway, we have
Yeah. You
parking
have a really long driveway.
really long,
Yeah.
but it's not like our house is huge. It's not. Um, but yeah, the driveway is long. Anyway, point being, uh,
You don't think like a
we're not parking in
two-person
there.
sauna would fit in your garage?
Not with all the stuff that's in there, like our bikes and our
Mm.
skis and the
Yeah.
refrigerator, which there's not a fridge in our garage, but it's in our kitchen, but it pops into the garage, if that makes sense to
Hmm.
you guys listening. We remodeled when we moved in, just like a little bit to make it more livable. And anyway, that's what we did. So it stuff fits, but I don't know. I'm kind of back to wanting a barrel sauna. I cannot decide if I want an infrared or a barrel sauna. And
Hmm.
everyone says, well, all the research is done on barrel steam saunas. So
Okay.
you should get one of those. But I'm like, okay, but infrared sauna is supposed to be better for detox.
Hmm.
So I really don't know which
Yeah.
one to get. But I already
Yeah.
have an infrared sauna bag. So
Bag.
I guess I
Yeah.
could get a steam sauna. But then
Hmm.
Dr. Emily was like, but those could potentially mold. And so that I'm terrified of mold. We'll have someone come on here and talk about mold. I am terrified of mold. Um, so I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I've read about barrel saunas, and as long as you keep them clean, they shouldn't mold. And also, I don't know, I feel like they are like the traditional way of sauning, like that they've been doing for over 100 years.
Exactly.
And so in my head, I'm like, it's like going back to basics and feels like the safest.
Yeah, and there's no EMFs,
Yeah. Even though
which
they do have
also
like
freaked me out.
infrareds with low EMF, but I don't know how,
They do,
I
but
don't know what that
it's
is.
only I've been reading so much about this. It's only far waves. It's not near infrared, it's only far infrared, which you
Okay.
want a full spectrum one for all the benefits because the longer you have far on, so you turn on the sauna and you get in and the far ones are really nice and smooth going into your body. But then the
Okay.
longer they are, the more chaotic they get, I guess. And
Okay.
so you don't, they're not as effective, I guess, from what I understand. Again, kind of winging
Hmm.
it here. But I listened to a podcast on infrared saunas by some people who make one of the highest end saunas. It's called
Hmm.
sunlighten saunas.
Hmm.
Um, and she was saying this, and she said, but then the near ones kick in, so you have then both if you're in full spectrum,
Okay. Hmm.
and you can still get it lower EMF, but it's not zero.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, in the town of Jackson, where I live, there is a power plant, just like most towns, but it's in the middle of the town. So no matter where you live, if you live in town of Jackson, you are probably less than a mile and a half away from a power plant, which is strange. So that means there's
Yeah.
already a lot of EMF in my life. And so I'm
Oh.
so
It's
I'm
like,
just
okay.
trying to get less.
I get it. Okay. The fortress.
Anyway, the fortress, that's what I call my house. I'm thinking I'm gonna get shungite crystals, which I don't know if those work, but I'm gonna do it.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I want
Yeah,
updates on that.
I will give you updates. I feel like I should get like a um I feel like I should get a EMF reader, but then I'm gonna
Hmm.
be terrified of where I live if I do.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm getting a mold test done on my house soon, so that's as
Are
much as I can
you?
do for now. I already did it
Okay.
once, but I did it wrong before we moved in, and it came back super high. But then for the summit, I interviewed a woman who specializes in mold in your home
Hmm.
and the health of things in your home, whatever. And she's like, you did that way wrong. And
How
I
did
was
you do
like,
it?
I basically did it in the floorboard heaters and in windowsills, both places you're not supposed to take samples from.
Did you do like that petri dish one
It's
or?
called an ERMI test, ERMI. It's
Okay.
just like a Swiffer, basically. You do it in 10
Hmm.
different spots. And I did half of it right, but then I stuck it in a baseboard heater, which was super old, and we have since taken out of the house, thank God. And then also on the windowsills, which also are really bad because
Hmm.
that gets outside mold.
Hmm.
And there's
Right.
always going to be mold outside.
There's always
Anyway,
going to be.
so and our house was built in 1966. It was built a long time ago.
Hmm.
Um, it's so dry here that the humidity isn't going to be a problem, but it is likely that there's some mold in the house. I just want to know how bad it is to know, do I need to deal with this now or can
Hmm.
I wait until later?
Okay. Well, I'm curious about that because we had somebody come to our house too to check for mold because we had like someone renting and they were asking about, she was like getting a lot of headaches and she didn't know why. So that was like one test that she tried, and she tried like the petri dish that you can get off of Amazon. But we had like a professional come to our house and he said that those are completely invalid because they
Yeah.
literally like you leave them open and like any mold spore will get on there. And then when you close it, it's just like an environment that cultivates mold. So like
Yes.
it's not super valid, but he did say, which Joe and I like redid part of our house. Like we opened up the walls to like put in a new shower and like redid a we opened up the ceiling because we were gonna insulate it. It was a mess. We ended up not insulating because we couldn't do that kind, and we would have had to open up the whole ceiling, blah blah. It would have so basically we paid like $500 for someone to open up the ceiling and close it back up, which is fine. But basically, the guy that came to inspect for mold was like, usually like you'll know, like it'll have a scent, you'll see like wet spots somewhere, that type of thing to get it tested. But I'm curious how your testing goes.
I will let you know. So it's called the ERMI test, ERMI. And there's a lot of debate in the mold world. There's a woman on Instagram, the woman I interviewed. Her name is PJ Harlow Wellness. Again, no affiliation with her. I just think she's super intelligent and a really good resource for this kind of thing. She will kind of talk about the reason an air test is not necessarily valid. But if you
Hmm.
talk to a home inspector, for example, they will tell you an air sample is the only one that you should use because that's the one the EPA uses. But as we know, we don't always trust that. So
Yeah.
I did an ERMI and an air test. My air test came back 100% totally fine. I did asbestos because it was built in the 60s and it came back
Hmm.
pretty much with zero. It was like 0.001, which is wild for a house that does have asbestos in the walls. But as long as it is contained, it's usually fine.
Hmm.
And then I had a mold test, and then I did an ERMI. The ERMI is the one I did wrong, so I'm redoing it post construction. But every single time someone has torn out a wall, like for the fridge or into the baseboards and things like that to remove heaters, every single person has been like, "I see no mold." That being said, none of them are mold inspectors; they were just contractors. I told them what to look for: white speckled stuff, black mold, whatever. Everyone's like, "I see nothing. I see nothing. I see nothing," which is a positive sign, but there's definitely some water damage in the garage ceiling.
Hmm.
Um, and we did have a leak in our roof, which we have gotten fixed.
Okay.
Um, and so we'll see. But again, if something leaks and then it dries and you don't have humidity to keep it wet, it's less likely to mold. So mold
Right.
starts to happen and grow more if you live in an environment where the humidity is more than 55%.
Hmm.
Now in Jackson,
Neither of
we
us have
which
that.
neither of us have that. And in Jackson especially, we shouldn't. But that being said, if you live near a water table or a reservoir where the water rises a lot, so south of town in Jackson, there's a lot of mold problems in this community called Rafter
Hmm.
J, where we almost bought a house because there's a river there and they rise underneath the house. So the house we almost bought, my friend went under there and I have pictures of it. There are just like spaces
Oh,
filled with black mold.
is this that
So
one house that you guys, I think you
when I
sent me the
sent you,
link.
we
Okay.
almost bought it and then we didn't.
Dude, crazy.
And then those people put a new roof on it and they were like, it's fine now. I'm like, I hope no one buys that house because
Yeah.
the fact that they're not disclosing that it has mold in it should be illegal. I think it is illegal, but they're clearly not. I mean, I haven't talked to the realtor. Obviously, like we bought a different house. But you could see visible black mold, whole ceiling, whole roof, and underneath the house. Because again, it raises, like the water raises, and then it stays there and it creates a humid environment despite it not
Mm.
being humid in our
Yeah.
house, if that
Oh
makes
man.
sense.
Yeah. Thank God you
So,
guys did not go
oh
through
my
with
God, would have been such a nightmare.
that.
I'm so glad we live where we do. I'm so happy with our house. It's a better lot, it's a better location. All the things about it are better. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
definitely.
okay,
Cool.
that's
Okay.
my rant on mold. It's
Love it.
terrifying.
We got to mold. We got there. Um, other thing I want to talk about is skincare
Mm.
and makeup because
Mm-hmm.
Maddie recommended some new skincare for me. Um, and I started using it and it's working great. And
Your
I really
skin
love
looks
it.
awesome.
Oh, thank you. It's the natural lighting that's coming in maybe. But um, yeah, so I just switched to that and it's been 2 weeks maybe since I started. And I like broke out a little bit as you always will with like new,
Plus,
which I
you'll
never break
purge.
out of here ever.
Oh,
Um,
plus you'll purge stuff out of your
yes.
skin when you switch.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it was really minimal and I'm really loving it so
Yay.
far. And it's simple. So
It's so
happy with that.
easy. The
Yeah.
trifecta of skincare, guys. So I learned recently that putting moisturizer on the face on your face just glues down dead skin
Which is
rather than,
crazy.
which is crazy. So you can get products that are hydrating, but moisturizing and hydrating, I guess, are different things. We'll have someone come speak about skincare, but from my understanding, which my favorite person to follow on this is Claire O'Brien. She has a vestibular disorder, which is why I know her in the first place. She's never been my patient or anything, but I was on her
Hmm.
podcast. We talked about dizziness, and her podcast is, I shouldn't say no longer. She hasn't updated it in a while. She's great if you want to go backtrack on her pod, but she is in my brain this queen of skincare. It's like all evidence-based things, all the things. because a lot of skincare that says clean,
Hmm.
there is no definition for that, which can
Right.
be really frustrating. So you really have to do your own research on what is in the products. That being said,
Hmm.
I will not use a product that has fragrance in it. I recently bought one. I put it on my face and immediately was like, oh, it smells like flowers and I don't know why, so I'll never use it again. I'm so mad. But
Did it say fragrance free?
no, it did not. I
Okay.
just, she was
Thought
like, this
maybe it would
product
be.
is great
Okay.
for brightening. So I just like bought it and I didn't even check because I should have because I bought stuff from that company that also smells like fragrance before.
Yeah.
And I'm mad. I'm gonna give it to my friend who doesn't mind those things, these things. Um, but she always gets my expensive skincare that I hate. But everything from Skin Better, which is where we get our vitamin C, if you're using the same one as me,
Hmm.
is phthalate free, sulfate free, fragrance free, all the things.
Hmm.
Zio, I use their exfoliator. I know that you are too. Which I love. Their
Hmm.
call it
Yeah.
Jesus Band. It's amazing. I'm a huge fan. Um, and I love that, but it's definitely not non-toxic. And that's kind
Mm.
of where you get to make a decision about how to fill your
Hmm.
toxin bucket.
Yeah.
Like
That's a
I
good
love
way to put it.
Botox. I haven't gotten them in a while, but I do love it. I'm
Hmm.
getting my skin microneedled today. I'll tell you how that goes, but
That should be non-toxic.
it is non-toxic.
Yeah.
And they're drawing my blood and putting exosomes or not exosomes, my own blood back in my face somehow. I'll tell you about
What?
it next time we do this. I don't know. It's like
I
PRP or
have
something.
never heard of this. Okay, I'm
Yes, they
very
also will
interested.
put salmon semen or like salmon exosomes into your face too. I didn't sign
Whoa.
up for that. It was way more expensive. I was like, I'll just try it this way first.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'm excited to
Anyway,
hear.
but I do love Botox. Do not get me wrong. I always get Xeomin instead of Botox because there's less additives, but
Hmm.
it's still a toxin at the end of the day. Look at this dog.
I know.
It's still a toxin.
I'm bored.
Poor
Um,
tugboat.
okay, I will say one thing. So I did buy the
Mm-hmm.
mineral-based sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which is good. Like we like mineral-based things. Um, and I recently switched to mineral-based like the brand we can kind of or mineral SPF brand from Kosas, which is like a clean. I'm like I have all my
I've
makeup
heard good
products
things. My
there.
cousin loves this brand.
Yeah, I really like it.
Hmm
I did my own makeup for my wedding. We just did it
I'm so
because
impressed.
yeah, we it was fine. It went great. But I did buy their foundation like a year ago
Ooh.
for that, but
hmm
I literally have worn this like for my wedding and your wedding and like people's
I
weddings. But
never wear
otherwise,
it. Yeah,
I don't like foundation
I
on
don't
my
either.
face. But it actually is really light, really nice. And the mineral SPF is so different than like a normal SPF. I feel like it just
Totally.
doesn't spread as like when I
It's
first was putting it on, I was like, I don't really like this because
hmm
it's not spreading very well.
Yeah,
But then once it is on, I can't feel it at all
a
on my
hundred
face.
percent. I use
Yes.
the mineral SPF from Skin Better. I
Yes.
think it's not cheap. It's like $75, but it does last me a couple of months. It
Yeah.
lasts me a long time, which so it's worth it and it's non-toxic. So I love that about it.
Hmm.
Um, but maybe I'll try the Kosas one too.
I do like it. I have both,
I've been
and I just
using, oh, nice. I've been using Ilia for my foundation,
mhm.
which is clean and I like a lot. I'm wearing their mascara today. I did not curl my eyelashes first, but I do like it. It's like super low key. It's not like,
Okay.
it's like a good everyday, I think,
Okay.
rather than,
Do you feel like it lasts all day well too?
I will say by the end of the day, it honestly goes under my eyes. Does that
Okay.
happen to you? It like runs.
So
I hate it.
some do, but
Mhm.
I switched to Tower 28, which is another
Okay.
clean brand, and it doesn't. It's amazing.
Okay, I'll
It
try
like
that
stays on
next.
all day, and then it also like comes off
hmm
easier with at night.
Okay.
Like it's not like stuck to my eyelashes, which I like, and I feel like it's like not it doesn't clump
Mm.
as much. So I really
Yeah,
like
it
that.
looks nice. You can see on YouTube our faces. I have like 7 pimples right now, which is not normal for me. I
Oh, I
know
don't
if
see them
if
out.
you are a person who has acne, I feel for you. That
Yeah.
is a really hard thing. I personally usually don't, especially since integrating my skincare routine, but I've changed some medications and things of mine, and I've been having like I have one here, here. Oh my God, Tugboat just hit his head on my desk. Here, here, like you can see him. This is actually a rock that's stuck in my face. That's been there
Oh,
forever. That's not a
wait,
pimple. You have a
it's
rock
not.
stuck in my face. Right here. That's a rock.
What?
No one can get it out. Anyway, so I have this wedding in India in a week and a
Come
half
here.
or 2 weeks, and so I'm getting my face microneedled today
Okay.
in hopes of helping like wrinkles, shininess, all the things, because I have not been getting Botox for a couple of different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm,
I will go back to doing Botox. I love it.
yes. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. I mean, like you said, fill your bucket with what you want.
Exactly. Like I live in a
Um,
fortress. That's hopefully
speaking,
not moldy.
I mean, you have to fill it a little bit. There's no way to
Exactly.
exist in
No, you
today's world.
literally cannot, which is the point of this podcast.
Exactly. Like there's just no way.
Yeah.
And and we all like have things that are important to us, so
hmm
it just makes
Totally.
sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me about your 14er this weekend.
Okay, I will. So it was actually we did it a week ago when we were on our Breck trip. And so we were staying in Breckenridge and we are now official Coloradans because we've done a 14er. If you haven't, then you're not apparently. So it's taking us forever. I can't believe we haven't done one yet, but you have to get up so early. Like you have to get to the trailhead by 6 at the latest, just in case there's like thunderstorms and to make sure you can get the whole thing done in the before it gets dark. And so for us to drive into the mountains from Fort Collins, it would be like 2.5 hours normally. So you'd have to get up like insanely early to get there. But we were staying in Breck and our place was only like 10 minutes from the trailhead of Quandary Peak. And so we're like, we have to do it. So we got up, started at 11,000 feet about of elevation. Yeah. And we did like, so it was 6 miles and 3,300 feet of elevation gain. We got like 2 miles in and we got to the top. We're like, okay, that was pretty hard. Like, not terrible. Like, it was pretty hard. And then we like saw this mountain behind that was kind of like it was all rock and it was tall. And we are like, do you think we have to climb that? Like, is that the peak? And we are both like, no, that would be insane. And then we get closer and closer and we see like little tiny like movement on the mountain. I'm like, that's got to be like animals or like birds or something. No,
Nope,
it
this
was
happened to me
people.
recently.
It was humans. And so we're like, shit, we have to climb that. And that was the hard part for sure. It was like
hmm
scrambling the rock. Joe's a little bit afraid of heights, so like a few parts were sketchy where we had to stop, but
Yeah.
it was really hard. Like 14,000 feet is no joke.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
We both live in elevation.
Yeah.
Like, it's no joke. We
No,
recently, or not me and my husband, but my newer friend and I don't like hiking, in case anyone is aware. Rachel loves to hike.
I
I
do
do
love to
not.
hike.
Um, that's insane, first of all. 14er is rough. I think the only 14er I've done is Mount Whitney with my family, which we did in like a 3-day thing. We camped, all the
Oh,
thing.
that's fun.
We went up the scramble way. But when you did that, I think the week before I did Buck Mountain here in Jackson, which I
Yes.
think the top is 11,000 feet, but it's 5,700 feet of elevation gain
That's
and
so
8 miles.
much.
But we ended up doing 14 miles because we got lost a bunch of times.
Gosh.
And I went to like the Alpine Lake at the bottom. I got to the Alpine Lake and then we had bouldered, we had scrambled, we had hiked. And I got to the top to this Alpine Lake. And I was like, for my own self-preservation, I'm getting a little bit lightheaded. I'm not going up any higher. She went up. It took her 3 hours to get from the Alpine Lake to the top and back because she got lost 4 more times.
Oh my gosh.
And
Was
I
this
was
like
like,
trail not marked or what
it
is
was not
happening?
marked out. It's a completely unmarked trail. I don't know why I agreed to go on this hike with someone who's never been on this hike before. Neither of us have been. But that's the thing is the top elevation is only about a little under 12,000 feet, 57 feet under 12,000 feet. So
Okay.
not even a 14er, but we started at 6,500.
Oh my gosh. That's so long. That's,
It
see,
was horrible.
I love to hike and I wouldn't want to do that. Like getting lost, that's
It
frustrating.
was awful.
I would hate that. I saw you ate a bunch of stroop waffles
I
though.
ate 6 stroop waffles and a Cliff Bar and something else. What do you pack when you hike?
I am a weirdo and I don't really like get hungry when I work out.
I don't either,
But
but I make myself eat.
yeah, so Joe gets very hungry. So we just pack like protein bars,
Yeah.
trail mix, and
Yeah.
peanut butter sandwiches.
hmm
Hmm.
Totally. totally.
Yeah.
I think by like hour 4 of this hike, I was feeling kind of lightheaded. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, 'cause I don't feel hungry. I feel kind of ill when I do a lot of
Yeah.
cardio,
Yeah.
honestly. I
hmm
don't think my body likes it. Um,
It's like, stop doing this to me, Maddie.
literally, speaking of working out, right, which is one of our topics, like what we've been doing, I get bloated and I feel uncomfortable when I get too much cardio. Does that happen
hmm
to you? I walk a lot and
No,
I'm fine. I'm jealous. I
I
don't
don't
know
think it
why it happened.
happens
It's
to
happened
me.
my whole life.
I don't do like a lot of cardio though. Like I
I
have
just walk
trained,
now.
I've done half marathons in the
Me too.
past, but I never felt like my body never felt the best when training for that. And I didn't really cross train either. Like I didn't really weight lift or anything. I would just run. And yeah, my body never like felt very good
Yeah, me
during
neither.
those times.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I am not a fan, but other people love it. Like Jenna loves to run. She also does strength training, but loves to run. Strangely, though, when I got my genetics tested with Natalie, she told me I should be really good at running genetically because I adapt really quickly
Really?
to endurance training, which is very bizarre. So that means there's
Hmm.
something else weird. I do adapt quickly, it gets easy really fast,
Yeah.
but I don't feel good, which
Yeah.
is strange.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's
That
very
is
odd.
interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, from the years and years and years of schooling and amount of money that we've paid to know this, I would not advise anyone to mainly run.
No, I would advise everyone to strength train, as we talked
Yeah.
about in our bone density episode.
So maybe like
Hmm.
with that knowledge too, where I'm like even going for a ruck,
Hmm.
which we talked about again in the bone density
Yep.
episode, with which you have and I have,
Yes.
and we should do a group ruck. That'd be so fun.
Be so fun.
But even that, like just weighting your body and
Hmm.
walking slash hiking is better for your joints and
Hmm.
longevity than
Yeah.
running.
And
Running's so
using your
hard.
joints, it is.
Yeah,
But I do
I
remember
mean,
Dr. Nelson did a study when we were in grad school about how running was neutral on
hmm,
knee health.
okay.
So I think if you do it right and you're
Yeah.
consistent about it and you don't just go run random marathons without training and you also strength train and cross train and all the things, I think it can be
hmm
neutral. But
Yeah.
I just think most people don't do it that way. So
Right. Right. I
walking is
think
amazing for you.
totally. Yeah. And it's like if you're running, it's really easy to not use specific muscles once you get tired. Like to turn your core
Totally.
off and turn your glutes off, and then all
Hmm.
of the
Everything
impact is
goes
going to
into
your
your
knees and
knees.
your
Yeah,
joints. Yeah.
totally.
So, yes, I think it totally can be neutral, but it's you really have to be intentional
Yeah,
with how you're using your body.
totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of workouts, you joined a gym in Jackson,
I did.
right? Because you were gymless for a little bit.
I was the gymless wonder. It was my saga that I wouldn't shut up about. Everyone's like, please stop talking about this. I don't care.
Like a breakup.
Literally. But I loved that gym. It was the perfect gym. It was beautiful. It was clean. It has showers, like all of the things that I needed. And then they took away the strength class. And they're like, the only strength class we're going to have is this really high intensity 45 or 50-minute like hit class.
Mm,
And I know for myself, I did that class every 3 days a week for 6 months and I felt destroyed.
mm,
And the whole um purpose of that class was to like switch it up and shock your body and all the things. And that is not a thing. Everyone thinks it's a thing. Shocking your body and switching up your workout is so unnecessary, you guys.
hmm
The literature shows it time and time again. You just don't need to do it. What you do need to do is strength train to failure a couple times a week, heavy. Or if
hmm
it's not even heavy, right? It doesn't have to be a 200-pound deadlift, but it
hmm
does need to be difficult for your body.
Right.
And I
Right.
also saw some research recently that most people, when they think they're at failure, are actually 9 reps shy of failure, which I think is really interesting.
That's so many reps. Like
So
so many.
do one more and feel like if you can. And if you literally get stuck and your velocity slows down, so if you're like doing a bicep curl and you're like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and then you're like, ooh, do 2 more and see if you can.
hmm
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like cycling, which we talk about this in the bone density one too, but
Hmm.
just cycling between like endurance, which you
Hmm.
said like maybe
Yeah.
10 to 15 reps, and
Hmm.
actual strength training, which is lower
Hmm.
reps, like 5 to 6 reps. Like
Yeah.
that should feel heavy
Hmm.
and hard,
Yeah.
but if you want to change it up.
Hmm. And also knowing things about like lever arms, like the further it is away from your body, the less weight you have to use. So if you do shoulder abduction, so you just take your hand and move it up to a T position, that's going to be way harder than if you did it in like a chicken wing position because the weight is closer to your body. So knowing those things going into it is really important when it comes to strength training. But I've been doing just really low intensity strength training with a random app that I got, and it's designed by physical therapists, which is great.
That's
I
cool.
still teach classes for my group program that I have, but I don't get, I mean, I get a good workout because it's a good workout, but I have to also talk when I'm teaching class, which makes like a whole different level of difficult. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I joined a gym. It's the rec center. It's very affordable, which is great. And
Hmm.
also has a climbing gym, and I'm getting climbing gym certified. So I'm going to start that.
Ooh, that's
But yeah,
cool.
that's my gym saga. Tell me about
I
yours. What have
love
you been doing?
that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, I can't wait to hear about the climbing. Mine is I used to CrossFit. I wouldn't even say I used to CrossFit. I used to go to the CrossFit gym
Okay.
and
I
I
used
would
to
work out
CrossFit
there.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a CrossFitter. But Joe does teach CrossFit now. But anyways, the gym I used to go to, I think they've changed up their programming a lot to be a lot more full body because it was a lot of just like upper extremity heavy. Like my lats were always just like I couldn't raise my arms above my head. And I would scale things. Like I know how to scale things. And it was just so heavy on that. And I don't know. I really enjoy, I personally, which I know this is unpopular opinion, but I like going to the gym by myself when no one's there. And like that is my zen. Like I can do whatever I want. I can use whatever equipment I want. And nobody's like, I'm not waiting. I'm not like imposing on anybody. And I can just like get out of my head and just focus on what I'm doing. So that is what I like to do. I joined a gym by my house, super affordable, really chill, just doing lots of strength training.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I think if you have a background in weightlifting, it can be really helpful to be able to go to the gym by yourself. But if you have no idea what you're doing, get an app or get a trainer for just a couple times so they can show you what to do because you can hurt
Yeah,
yourself at the gym.
totally.
It doesn't have to be forever. You can kind of start to do your own thing, but I also find it's easier if someone else programs it. At least I do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. And
Mhm.
even like we have all the skill set to be able to do that for ourselves. And I
Yeah,
don't want to.
I don't
Like,
want to. I have someone else program it, but I go by myself now, which I used to hate and now I kind of love.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, we're getting podcast chairs, and then I do have to go because I have a meeting. And so do
Okay.
you.
30 seconds left. Um, podcast chairs go. So we are going to be switching our filming up a little bit so
Uh-huh.
that Addie and I will be more casual and just
Mm-hmm.
chilling in our chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really excited because someone very special is making them for
I'm
us.
so excited.
And so you'll be able to see us just like sitting back, chilling a little bit
Yeah,
and podcast
I'm
chair. So that
gonna.
is something to look forward
I'm
to.
so excited. I'm gonna set it up with my like sound booth thing. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
a crane situation
cool.
to like
Yeah,
hook onto the chair, if that makes sense. I'm
yeah,
very, very excited, and
yes.
thanks to this human, we'll tell you about it after.
Yes, I'm so excited. I
Me
texted Maddie
too.
about it twice and she was like, yeah, you already told me. And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry.
I was like, wait, this is one of those things I was like, did I dream this?
No, no, I just sent the
Anyway,
same message twice. So,
I love it. They're beautiful. So I'm really, really excited.
mhm.
And yeah, I need to go home and pack, frankly, because I'm going to
Yeah.
India. I learned all my dances. Did I already tell you that? I learned them all yesterday. We had a 2.5 hour dance practice.
Who is running this practice?
The groom's sister.
Okay.
We know like learned them all in like 45 minutes. It's taken me
Wow.
weeks.
I can't
But
even
we learned
imagine.
4 in 2 hours and 15 minutes, and the boys also have to do one, and it took 2.5 hours to learn one song. So
I'm
we're
so
doing great.
excited. These will be
I,
filmed, right? I want to see these.
yeah, do you will
Okay.
send it to I think everyone I know.
Okay.
Because
Perfect.
I am not super hyper coordinated. So
I bet you're great. I cannot wait to see.
thanks. It's also in the biggest skirt of all time. So if I mess up this footwork, doesn't matter. No one can see.
Wait, that's perfect.
It's perfect. So I just really need to nail the upper body. And my
Okay.
sister keeps saying to me, well, the upper body is just about striking a pose on each move. I'm like, I can't even do the move, Bren. Like,
I don't
make
feel like
it,
that's
let alone
helpful.
strike a pose. She did like a lot of theater and dance and singing in high school. So
Yes.
she was a theater major at USC before she switched to poli sci and communications. So she's like the queen of dancing and singing. We could not be more different, but I adore her.
I feel like those two
Anyways,
things go so well together. But
totally.
it's gonna be great. And
It's gonna be
maybe we
great.
will be able to
I'm
post a
gonna send
video
you the YouTube. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna
on
send
the
you the YouTube
Instagram.
video of how we
Okay.
learned it. The
Yes,
girl
please.
specifically asked not to be put on blast, so it's an unlisted video, but I'll send it to you.
Amazing.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Give us a follow at thewellbeing.pod, myself at the Vertigo Doctor, and Rachel at Baby Fit Providers. Thanks for
Thanks for
listening.
joining.
See you soon, and let us know if you like
Bye.
this type of episode. Okay, bye.